From the national newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. Prime Minister Mark Carney has unveiled a 25% hike to the GST credit to help lower-income Canadians deal with the high cost of groceries. Carney says the boost will be temporary, starting this year and lasting for 5 years.
And in addition, we're providing a one-time payment equivalent to 50% of the GST credit this year.
After the GST credit announcement, Prime Minister Mark Carney hit up a Toronto pizza parlor with Ontario Premier Doug Ford. Ford had reacted angrily to Canada's recent electric vehicle agreement with China, but now says he and Carney are just fine.
Sometimes brothers and sisters may disagree, but at the end of the day, make no mistake about it, we are one country.
Carney says the pair worked through 5 major topics over their lunch meeting, and they are set to meet again in 2 days. Back in Ottawa, Government House Leader Stephen McKinnon says he believes the minority parliament can function and pass bills, but it's up to the Conservatives. McKinnon was asked if the governing Liberals are considering a spring election, but says Canadians voted for the current government's plan last April.
There's no way that plan should not receive the approval of this parliament. There is a majority in that room for that plan. Mr. Poilievre has to get out of the way and allow his MPs to vote on an ambitious crime-fighting agenda.
The Conservatives have criticized the increased GST credit as a revived Justin Trudeau policy, but they say they are open to passing the eventual bill. U.S. Homeland Security wants to buy a warehouse owned by Vancouver's Jim Pattison Group. It wants the Richmond, Virginia area warehouse for an immigration and customs enforcement processing facility. ICE has come under heavy criticism for its crackdown in Minneapolis, where 2 people have been shot dead by its officers. The Jim Pattison Group has not immediately returned requests for comment. BMO is set to replace Air Miles with a new loyalty rewards program called Blue Rewards this summer.
The new program will be available through a new Blue Rewards app and will be integrated into BMO's existing mobile banking app and website for its clients. Air Miles program members can still use their collector cards, but their miles will automatically convert to Blue points at an equivalent value. BMO Air Miles credit and debit card holders can also continue using their cards. But the bank says Air Miles' partnership with Shell Canada is set to conclude, as the fuel company is instead linking up with the Scene Plus loyalty program, which will roll out over the coming months. Michelle Zedekian, The Canadian Press.
Former Liberal Cabinet Minister Kirsty Duncan has died after a years-long battle with cancer. She served as the Minister for Sport and Science between 2015 and 2019. Duncan was 59 years old. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Edmonton Oilers host the Anaheim Ducks tonight in a matchup of the second and third place teams in the NHL's Pacific Division. Edmonton sits just 1 point ahead of Anaheim and is coming off a 6-5 overtime win over Washington on Saturday. Austin Mack is getting a head start on CFL free agency. The Montreal Alouettes released the veteran receiver today. Mack was due a $45,000 bonus February 1st, part of a 4-year deal he signed with Montreal back in 2024. CFL free agency begins February 10th. Mike McDaniels agreed to become the Los Angeles Chargers offensive coordinator. He was fired less than 3 weeks ago as head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Olympic medalist swimmer Ilya Haroun is switching national allegiances. The 20-year-old has represented Canada since 2022, but will now swim for the U.S. He was born in Montreal but has spent his whole life in the States and says he always felt like an American. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.